however you address him. Thank you very much for today, and so I I apologize that I'm kind of running a little late for movie night. I've been doing my best to try to pass this test by actually listening to the audiobook. Let me say hello. Yes, thank you so very much, Father, for our blessings that I take so much for granted sometimes. Anyway, so yeah, I've been doing this audiobook, um, audio DMV here, and doing the whole book because that's what not only the girl doing correcting my test said, but my daughter also said that's what she had done, I believe. And she's, like I said, she's never driven, so she's not real familiar with the laws of. Um, so I'm just real busy trying to keep this appointment tomorrow one of success, and the only way that can happen is if I actually study and make an honest effort doing so, which I'm not. Like I said, I'm not the academic. Uh, I hear you, boy. He'll let you in. He knows you're out there. So anyway, I want to kind of make this quick. Not quick, but I want to make this brief because boy, the old quickie never got any callbacks. So but yeah, I love you, sweetheart, and that all that the this morning. If that was you on there that was getting a little bit irritated, I apologize. Again, I could be just overly reading into that, but it just kind of came into the my field of vision. So I just thought I'd address that. So I apologize. I'm not trying to irritate anybody. My heart is in the right spot. You should know that by now. Um, but if not, I'm just going to continue. Let him out, please. Pardon me. I think he needs out, son. So I'm going to try to make this brief so I can at least get some of this stuff out. And of course, there's new stuff going on each and every day, so I want to try to address that on top of filling you in on the the time frame when we're at the motel. I forgot what that was. I guess I could ask her. She's here today. She's got a day off. She's in a good mood, so I'm going to take it. And and so yeah, I'm all ready to pick up where we left off, and I'm about ready to harvest. I think it was that's right, not Blindy, but Wesley came down and got me, and I went up for a real big surprise. There's a few other things I got. Like I said, there's so much that went on down there, and there's so much that went on in the whole the totality of the story. There's so much that it's mind boggling, but um, so I'm just going to do what I can, especially in Reading. It seemed like I just got flooded with some stuff that because I'd come to the realization that wow, I had been here before and never in my life would have thought that what was about to take place was all just kind of it was all just preparing me for this conversation right here. So now listen, we were in 4 minutes. I gotta pay attention and I gotta try to keep this at exactly 60 minutes. So I'm not wearing her out if Tori and Millie decide to, and that'll be great. I know it's 3 hours difference. I got to be respectful and conscious of that also. So I just want you guys to know I'm also doing that. And again, I literally had to run. I was just mind boggled trying to get this up and going, and then at the same time listening to. I had to hop in the tub and I shut the door when certain people are here, and I usually haven't done that for I just don't. Um, and so so I have to anyway. I don't get to keep the thing open where I can hear the because I would have listened to Now You See TV. I got little bits and pieces when I'm getting ready for this because I want to knock a little bit of this out before movie time before it gets too late. So, thank you, John Hall, John Pounders, David Carrico. Of course, he's so kind to let everybody use the facility there, the barn. That's a blessing. I would really love to do some service work over there for you guys. That'd be great. That's what I really like to do. I like to do stuff and just get good and sweaty for people and just for no real real good reason other than just because I love to make people smile and take a little bit of ease off their and make a little bit of burden and just be a good asset instead of a hindrance. Um, it just I don't know. It just makes me feel really good about myself. Doing the right thing for people. It's awesome. Um, so yeah, and then this morning with Casey. So thank you very much, and Tammy, that was really kind. And I try not to get too personable with people. I want to believe me, but I'm not led to. And soon enough, he said, soon enough, you're going to be able to. I'm like, well, because I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. Then again, I do have to carry on with what the task at hand, which is soul salvaging. So that's my that's and I know it might seem completely unorthodox, and that's exactly what it is. This is a new thing. This is the new stuff. Um, so very much thank you very much, and I believe that's your wife. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was Patty, uh, your wife, Patricia Hall. I think that was her. For the first time tonight when it was going, I was like, that might be her. When I was in here getting ready for this little podcast here, um, and that was the first time, and I've seen that handle, that thumbnail and stuff. Very kind and generous soul. If that's it, if not, maybe it's Donna. I don't know, Mr. Carico's wife. But either way, I just certain people they have it's like they're so genuine. You can tell. You can tell even when people write stuff. I can, not always. I get bamboozled sometimes. Because I want so much to just I see the best in everybody, even after they've done me wrong, and that can be a downfall. Also, that could. So here I go into lecturing and evangelizing instead of task. Okay, because I know we are on a time schedule and Sally Vision's about to come on. So okay, so we'll cross that off. Mr. Robertson. Mr. Robertson. I'm gonna cross that off. Jesse. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, also I wanted to bring up the people that have like the Down syndrome. That I don't believe that has anything to do with demonic health. Again, I don't have an exact answer for that, but that's just something that came that demonic health, our mental health, demonic stealth. Down is different. You notice how you see this? It's just they're just absolutely it's something else. There's something different about them. That's some kind of a that's some kind of a generational thing. That's something I don't know, but not definitely not like what you see with the meth uh, degradation. You see what the meth does, and it's just an instant. Now the stuff they got now, it's just an instant doorway. It just opens up to and that's why my brother he doesn't call. He knows he doesn't call me when he's on that stuff. When he called me the other day, I could tell he was and he needed that to hear that he was doing well and stuff. Even though he's really not doing that well, he's doing better because of the everything that's going on right now. But he doesn't call me when I don't. And you can see it, like I said, you can see it not just like in people's voice. You can see it when people write stuff. It's measurable. It's it's uh, yeah, it's I'm at a loss for words. but it's in the line when I go. It's measurable. It's out. It's that. Um, so so thank you, John, and that. And I wanted to spend some time with you guys this evening, but like I said, I've had to just that book. Whew, that's like 5 hours of that DMV book, and that's the only way I'm going to skin that cat. I can see, and if I otherwise, I'm just going to just spend. I'm just going to keep spending and paying like I weigh until I get it, because that's just the name of the game. And but it made me feel a lot better that that girl told me. She said, "Oh, don't feel bad." And she knew I wasn't one of them butthurt ones. She's, well, you failed, but you're real close, And she was waiting to see, and I'm like, oh, well, that's great, Well, what can I schedule new? And I said, hey, man, do you have any suggestions? Because I've been doing this. She said, read that book, and I said, she goes, that's a long deal. And I'm thinking, gosh. So my son downloaded. I've been doing it now 2 days in a row, maybe three, on and off, but 2 days. And that's a long it's a long haul to be sitting here listening and paying attention. And every single answer to those questions are in that book, because I hear them, but you don't know which ones are going to give. And there's so many of them. I think it's like 560 some or something like that. And then you get, I think, 40 out of those. And then if you fail, you can take it, like I said, right, in concession, right after, you fail, you can do it again, or you can go and study, which most people probably do. They go and study. But I just thought it was going to be the same test, and I was pretty sure I knew where I missed him, and she gave me a different test, which was harder. And I found that out on the ride home when I was listening to all my dotes. Dang it, I knew that, and I knew that, and I was going to mark that one down, but I sat and second guessed too long. So of course I overthrew or underthrew, and just like anyway, trailing, sweetie, don't worry, it won't always be like that. I do know how to relax. Hold on, pardon me. It's a blessing too, is I'm being left alone right now, which is I'm absolutely just gonna take this one all the way to the bank. Okay, so Tommy, so let's just get right back to it. No hard feel. I love you. Remember, we have us a time frame when you hear it, and I think your friends might have even said, "Listen, have you heard what he? Do you panic too easy sometimes?" I've been there, and then you overreact, and you start thinking, and then you start getting old before your time, because what's going on in here is going to affect everything out here, and you're going to go, "Where did those come from?" You're worrying. Quit worrying. I'm pretty. I'll say something. I've already told you, and I think I heard you say this morning. I do too. But like I said, I just glance because I'm doing. I got. And he said, "Praise the good Lord, oh Yahweh, Abba, Jehovah." I'm so happy that everybody's doing stuff. It's kind of weird, but I'm gonna take it. I'm taking it. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful sunset there. Beautiful. Don't you know? Um, so now we're gonna get off that one. So I love you. You know what's gonna happen. You know, we just got to get there. We got to get there. So just get moving. My little sister, my little angel. Cause and when I said baby yesterday on the that just can't. I don't really like axle grease. Axle I don't. But that's all just there's stuff that goes on. There's stuff that happens that you have no clue about yet. That I um, kind of wade through every day. So sometimes when you hear me do and say stuff that kind of might seem a little a little out of line and stuff, like just like being. Sometimes that's exactly what's happening, and sometimes I know exactly what's going on and why. And sometimes it's just happening, and I'm just along for the ride, and I'm like, okay, and then I'll get it in a minute. Sometimes it takes me a day. You know that I've had stuff that and then there's stuff that I knew, and I was like, oh, and had an impression. Write it down, Einstein. Oh, I'll remember it. Yeah, sure you will. You're gonna remember it. You're gonna remember it as well as you remember to. Yeah. So you need to you need to forget that and remember this. You need to forget that you're going to remember that crap because that's not going to happen. Quit fooling yourself and write the dang thing down because you got too much going on, Buster Brownie. My Buster Brownie boy. They had to put him down, old Brownie. All of them were brown. I named her a baby girl Brownstein, Buster Brownie Steen, Bubba Brownstein, and all of them. They're all my babies. They're all my babies. Once I feed them, it's over. It's all over. So, okay. Anyway, Tommy, big Tommy. He come from Oklahoma, I believe it was. Big old Tommy, big boy, big gentle giant. Another big gentle, just a beautiful man. Him and his just as southern as could be. Him and his I believe was it a son and a daughter? Anyway, it was him, his wife, and a child or two. And they would kick him. They'd kick him out every day. And of course, they wouldn't do that to the. Oh wow, isn't that something? Check this out. This just happened on my computer. I want to show you. I'm going to share this. I'm going to send this up. This is exactly what just was on. What just went up right there. That just happened. I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. Anyway, may seem insignificant, might be, but then again, wow. Talk about faith gluing this whole reality together. Woo wee! But there's two parts to that. You got to keep it in motion, baby girl. So no, I just got angry and just spun out with the Axel deal. Don't you notice I didn't say that the Chiggers from Texas. Of course, they were some of the most friendly people I've. Sometimes you got to mix it up a little bit because you can get taken the wrong way even when you're trying to be right. So that's why I say sometimes you got to go left to get right, and even when you do that, you're still wrong. But I just keep trying, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't give up very easy. That's one thing I don't do. That's not in my. That's not in my nature. That's not in my makeup or becoming. Would be very becoming of me, would it? No, would it? No, would it now? So Tommy boy, him and his wife, we'd let him get out of the sun, 110 degrees sometimes. I loved it. And people are like, "Are you serious?" I stopped sweating after the first real good summer. I just got used to it. I'd started going up to Washington, going, "Oh my God, I got to get back down to the sun." Plus, my head was all whacked up one side and down the other, so the sun did me just. Oh, I was an emotional. I was a sun boy, not only by the plants. I was a sun worshiper myself. Of course, I prayed to you, Yahweh, Christ the Messiah, but Yeshua, of course. All the same. It's all the same, people. Just different departments, titles. You know, when you have that hall pass, you can just kind of move freely. But yeah, the sun. Oh, the sun now, people. It was beautiful. And the people were just it was crime real low. It was just something else. I would have never believed that I'd been there before as a child. Never, ever, ever, ever. Very troubled child. But I would have never believed what I'm fixing to. Not even close. Not even close, because all was always in my mind is San Francisco, San Francisco, San Francisco. And then that little piece of Ted and his mom and Pat, it was his real brother, not the Lopez's. Somewhere along the line, something they ended up adopting him and raised him, raised a little scrapper, little scrappy. Like I said, I pulled stitches out of his head more than once, I believe. But because why would you go to the hospital and pay all that? Because like I said, he worked for Lockheed, Tacoma Boat, and Todd Shipyard. Yeah, he made big fat bank. He made big. He made like 20. I remember him saying it was 24 and he was getting a raise to $27 an hour. And back then, could you imagine that kind of money back then? in the very early 80s, 80, 81. That's a grip of dough. Well, I'd been stacking. Now here I am, and I'm burning up my hour, people. Do you see what's happening? These people get me off track. They want to, oh, you know Kurt, huh? Well, I might as well have. It's under that old bridge with him for long enough. Um, so Tommy would bring him in off that out of that 110-degree because yep, that shelter that they were at, they booted him out. They made him go. That's why I didn't stay there. I stayed there one night when I seen what was going on with me and my son having to stay where we and I'll wait till I get to that so I don't get because I'm at what am I? Yeah, and I because I don't know. It's been really a blessing that we've been going as long as we have. It looks like this is. I told you, man. Those old bottle rockets. They don't stand a chance when you're a marathon runner, right? Whew. Yes, you're just double fisting those candles. Um, so because you have to when you're just a wee little fella like I am, you have to get. Don't worry, baby, it's all for you. It's all for you. That was for them fools yesterday. It wasn't for you. I don't usually use baby lightly, but when I mean baby, I mean you tear in their beer and that sodomite softball is mighty queer. They all have to do it. It's the weirdest thing. And they all do it willfully, to think such a thing. Um and most of them like it. They're just yeah. Oof. They're smooching each other, that old yuck mouth poop breath. Ugh. Feeding each other instead of caviar, like just crackers and poop. Oh God, filthy. I know, sweetheart. I'm gonna wrap it up. I know it. Because that's not gonna be good. I should probably pop up some popcorn pretty soon because I've got 22 minutes. I'm gonna get it rolling. I know I'm being an idiot right now, but God, that's what I get when I get a little angry about these fools and they send me stupid stuff. And I know I'm learning. The Lord's teaching me through becoming patient and all the fruits. It's it's funny if you knew what was going on out there. That's right. If you heard my daughter laugh, she laughs like her dad. You guys haven't heard me laugh yet. When you hear me laugh, you're gonna be like, "Oh man, dude, you dude, and this is I can't. It's it. I won't be able to stay. I'll have to. I'll be on the floor. I'm a floor. It's every time. If they want to get me down, that's how they can do it. They get me laughing. That's how that's and it won't be doing what they do because their shit always involves innocent children and buttholes and stuff, nasty poop and stuff like that. Really, that's what they are. That's I don't ever want to use really with my baby girl Millie. Sorry, honey, I didn't ever want to. So yeah, quit worrying, sister. Christian sister, Christian. Oh, don't you get caught up in you lend that too much space up here and you got to meditate on these things that are good, positive, true, measurable, tangible. They're observable. There it is. Huh, that was for Tori. Measurable. That's right. That's right. That's right. That day you were going like this. I was like, "Oh, sweetheart, you're hot. You're live, baby." But now, see, we get to see what I've always seen. But like I said, I only because I could only see. And yes, I do love Gavin. I told just because I didn't want to say that you need to be nice to him. I did. It's not that I didn't mean it. I just didn't want to say it. Okay, that's where we're at with that. And then of course you got to be. Of course you guys are part. That's how you've been. Because I'm gathering that he's the brains of the computer operation deal. Which, hey, touche, because he's got my vote. That's for dang sure. And I've kind of gathered, I just like you, it would be, if you're well, then there's there's only so much that you would want to share. So sharing is caring, but like I said, um, yeah, you'll never, ever, ever have any, ever, if you decide to before. Mm-mm. You'll be like, oh man, that's the tiniest, littlest, mightiest damn. Whew. Talk about my head spun smooth off my shoulders. Because and the only reason I know that because I've been told that many, 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 many times. What are you doing? What are you looking at? It's just happening. I just look and it just happens. I said, what are you serious? Like, yeah, I don't know what it is, man, but you chew. And that's not and see, I was just too damaged. And I wasn't the one to hop around like that because I was never designed and created for that. No. But I was just didn't know. I didn't know how to offer myself as these also broken people, most of which were seeking the same thing and just complete, just, dragon tails. That's all it is. And it's just dragon tails. You think you find it, but it's not real. It's comes in all different size, shapes, and colors and stuff, and it's just never really. Oh, you might get a little G'd up one side and down the other, but there's nothing really there. It always stinks in it. There's just nothing. I know because like I said, I've been to Job Corps and I grew up in the Central District in Rainier Valley. I was going to share some pictures about Rainier Valley, Rainier District, all of Rainier, Central District, all through there. Nate's Wings and things. Oh, I know them all. I know most all of them in that picture. I was going to post that yesterday, but a lot of my friends, a lot of people, most of them are their uncles or their daddies. People that I hung with, most of them, a lot of them are dead. A lot of things have changed around there. Yep, Nate Dog. Oh, Nate's Wings and things down in Rainier. Told you that's for me. When that picture you see where I shared many, many times, but this is just one of many that moon shadow with my brother's cross when it was like levitating when we were on that little beautiful, it was just as calm as could be. That's really what that was. Right there on Rainier Beach. We were right there on the beach. We were right there off the shore. Right there where Jaybert and Lois's house. One's at Forest and where I rented, he got me off that hill out of Red Maple where I did that big weed heist. Those fools. Those little hood rats. I just wanted them to watch my back. They should have just took what I gave them and then they went back. You never go back. But we were right there, not very far off there, right when it got hoodie. Right there. Hoodwink. That's exactly where that photo was taken, right there. Because it wasn't too like, because it was shallow enough, and there was other boats that come in, because there's a nice little cove right there, and it's real calm. And then if you want, people, doing their own thing, they space out enough so, people, you're not infringing. And it's shallow enough where the water's just warm, depending on what time of year. So I was not minutes after that photo, I was in that water. Oh yeah, I was in that water swimming. But you go up on that shore, and it goes from tranquil to you entered Gatorland. Gatorade is right. You better make sure you took your little make sure your little subcompact 3.3-inch titanium little strapucha. Anyway, I just got completely and sucked it all up. Whole 30 minutes. The whole 30 minutes doing this. Oh, so you knew Kurt, huh? You're, you knew. Yeah. And see, I dodged that ball. Oh, were you in the military? No, that was my. What's that? What's that behind you? Where was that made? Well, it was made in America. I'll give you that. But by a bunch of oppressed DOC workers that wasn't even getting minimum wage in the state they were. So when they got out, of course, and not even good solid mental health counseling, so that where that head goes, the body will follow, and that's not going to grease that damn door. But we'll get to that segment soon enough. It's amazing they ain't shut me down yet, boy. Because they figured I'd have given up by now, and now the Lord says, so you're becoming. You want to be a wise guy, huh? You want to be wise, do you? Huh? You want to be. You want to be wise. What? People die for lack of what? Knowledge. So you want to seek wisdom because you know now that you're created in truth's image. I'm going to shut Silly Visions on. I'll be right back. All right. So back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The dude, if you look on them pictures, he looks exactly like Ice Cube. Identical. I know so many people that look identical to Ice Cube. Well, not so many. Maybe four. Mad Rob from the hilltop up here at Old Crip. He's retired now. I just seen him not long ago. He's doing real well. Um, Looks exactly like him. Exactly like Ice Cube. Exactly to the right down. And of course, so does old Nate's little crew too down there. I think the title is Who's Afraid of the Valley? Who's Afraid of Rainier Valley or whatever they're rolling around. And the other dude, I know his daddy. He's got a little binky in his mouth. He's got his hair up in old Spanky. He's got his hair up in a little deal. I know them all. Used to walk that whole area down there, and be only because I grew up with those people, and they knew I knew everybody, and everybody was, hey, what's up, man? How's your brother Scrappy doing and stuff? When you grow up, before it's the gangs, that damn coke that's separated everybody, separated all our love. Got real weird after that. Of course, you guys know that. So now that I've gotten completely 33, but I looked. So we brought him in off the hot street. Hot. Helped me. Almost got the hand too big to get that, and I had one bolt to get that alternator out. Like I said, I was charging up. That got tiring. Victoria wanted me to get the vehicle out. I can't believe that I had all this time, and it took me just like that to. I just remembered her name like that. That's how it's been happening. Um, I think I mentioned that in my letter when. Well, I don't want to get off track, but I'll mention that when I get to Larch Millie. And old Machete Mike was right behind me. I said, "Are you sure?" And my buddy's like, "Don't listen to him, Steen. He's gonna end up. He's gonna piss you off, and then you're gonna lose your good time talking about that if that's how you really feel." And then I said, "Well, he just knew too much about her." And he said, "Yeah, but that's just too general. That information is too general." I said, "Okay, I'll give you that." And he was right about that. But anyways, so brought him in. I finally got that and I was gonna order, and I finally found out after I'd already gotten the piece off the part how much it was gonna cost to get it shipped to me. And I was like, it was a home almost a month's uh rent in the motel. And the plants were almost ready, and I was going to take it up to Washington because, like I said, I was getting 200 a zip, 3,200 a pound, or I was fixing to, anyway. And That's why, like I said, when you're doing 99 plants and they can produce anywhere from 4 to 6, so we'll just round it off just at 6. So just some rough math at 3,200 a pound. So if I was doing someone else's strip and you're on 6.5 or 10 acres like I was, and I could do as many as I wanted, and you have the means like a tractor and this and that to do that, you could potentially, let's say just two, you could do 120, let's see, 199, and that'd be what, 600 pounds. So that's 120 pounds. That's 190 million dollars actually. And seriously, that's you'd never get that much because there's so many variables. But if you were to get exactly street value for this stuff, and especially all the candy and stuff that you could make, that's why people come up to rob you when it's harvest time. They come from to great lengths. Some people come to want to get jobs to help trim, and they come from all over to states. But some come with different ideas, and they don't, they want to get something they don't work hard for. I know exactly how that is, so it takes a thief kind of thing. But yeah, you could be looking at a lot of, but then there's a lot of work too. People don't bank on, they don't think things through when I mean, that's when you really do want to use a little bit of longevity, a little forethought, trying to, it's great to live in the moment, and that's beautiful. And the Lord will, and I do that, but I see things that I'm supposed to, and then things change, so I have to just go on the good Lord's good humor and continue to do the right thing. But if you see something, coming ahead, and you're like, wait a minute, these things are budding. There's a lot, just like Jerry told me. He's like, he's very patient with me. He was so kind. He wasn't, because he knew my heart was in the right spot. He would never let us been up there, right? Even though he had a bunch of crazy people coming up, most of them, looking back now, really had decent hearts, or he would have never let him. He had that old army issued 41. I think he was in the Korean or something. He was an older guy, but he had that old army issued 41, and he wasn't, he was kind, but he wasn't no. And so he didn't just have anybody up there, but yeah. So Tommy would get kind of throughout the week, and he didn't want to be a burden, so they'd go to the library until they finally, got tired of him there. They didn't want anybody that wasn't from there around. And people that were treatment, they could be in that shelter. They didn't have to go on the streets. They didn't need a job. And a lot of them, some of them would get a job, and they'd get dirty UAs. They would all kinds of stuff in there. But here are these people that come in trying to get, make a life for themselves. And these are good people, they're not just trying to get a handout. And they just throw them out in the hoping they'll just go somewhere. And you can't be just vagrant there in Reading. They'll arrest you. You can't. There is no camping back then at all. You will go to jail. It was illegal. And they will run you down and out quickly. Um, so thank the good Lord that I had I had somebody seen something in me every time that wasn't able to see in myself, because I kept, you know, well, I'm going to keep disappointing some of you, because some of you it'll be a blessing, because that's how this works. It's honest. You just got to be honest. My bro said, "What do I do, bro?" I said, "Be honest, just and stay honest. That's all you have to do. Once you get that way, stay that way, and you'll never ever go wrong. You'll never go wrong." And they can talk all they want about you, and after a while, people are gonna like, "No, you're the liar. That dude ain't nothing like that." I grew up now, and even my own children, you couldn't turn my kids and children against me. The only one who can do that is me. That's it. That's it. Same as free will. After a while, you can say all you want, but that's why I say, if you're absent from your children, write them letters. Write them letters. Keep track of letters you did write. Date them. Write them. Go ahead. You do that. Not just for your own conscience or whatever, but just so that if you really, if you mean what you're saying, then you send that. You send it. You don't, and you say, look, I wrote you these letters because I cared about you and I wanted you to know. And you don't just go pouring out stuff. Well, this is and start saying stuff negative about the other half either, because that's not going to work either. That's not that's not that's psychosis is what that is. And I've been through a lot of that. Not that I've done that. I've never been that. I've never even talked crap about my mom. Never had to. Never had to. They found out for themselves. They found out when they went and got invited in under that roof. But I told her I would never let that happen again when she kicked me and Donnie out. We're at Cobble Court. Isn't that something? It was Cobblestone Road. I had no idea. All that stuff. It's just, and the Lord, he giggles. He goes, "Oh, there's so much more than that, man." But good thing now you don't, because that's all you'd be doing. And I've just burned up this whole deal. So now, Tommy, I'm starting to see what's going on. We do, we're feeding them and stuff like that, and going to the Bethel on Sunday. They have that big Bethel church. They have a bus that comes down and would pick people up at the shelter, and all the people that were in treatment. Um, uh, they would go because the food was, it was really good, and it was, the service was, looking back now, was extremely creepy, and just it was demonic. It was creepy. It was eerie. It was creepy. It was demonic. You could just see it now looking back. I was like, man, and I was up on the top deal, or I was. I don't know if there was a top deal, but anyway, I remember I was high up. I remember that I was high up. I was looking around, and they had this guy that kept, and he looked like a lizard. I swear he did. He did. He looked like a lizard. Uh, not really a lizard, but a lizard to me. Uh, Looking back now, because of the way he kept just like walking, and he kept just going side to side, down, every up and down. That's all he did. And then he would stop, and he was like he was doing, like he was a security person there, but he was always the same guy, and he was the only same guy of the few security that were there, and you could tell who they were because they were in black, and you just, after going there every Sunday to eat, you got to know, because they've had people from the shelter and people that come in that get unruly, and they've had to remove them. Uh, but this one same guy, he was the only dude that did this, and he had long hair, and he was a native guy, I believe, uh, or something. But yeah, he was a weirdo. He was a creepy dude. Looking back now, I would have never said this back then, because who am I, right? These people here going through, I would never have said that, because I didn't. I appreciated what they did. I still do, but it's just now I know why they were doing what they were doing, and exactly what God they were, or it serves. They were bowing to their little dragon god Satan, and they were those little, trying to get that. And see, that's what it is too. That Carrico, he, well, anyway, I can't get off on that, because because I was going to go right to the Lucifer, and then the dragon, and the reptile, and Satan, and how it's progressed. But then I've already burned it. I've already burned it up. So we got these people off the street, got to know them a little bit, started seeing exactly how this shelter was, which is all going to come into play with this whole. Because there were some really good people that um, were like Chitwood. I'm sure he was, because my son knew his. We talk and stuff. He's like, "Yeah, Dad. I mean, I went to the graduation and everything, and it was amazing. That it was. I was so proud. Everybody, just everybody was crying and hugging, and people I didn't even but know and stuff. And I was hugging their children, and we were hugging, and people were just, it was just amazing. Um, but yeah, he looked like a little reptile, man, and so back to uh, to Tommy, because Tommy, and this, it comes into play. he was the only one I would speak to when I was at Bethel. And they had two dining areas. They had one outside and they had one inside. And you know, I kind of believe this Tommy guy might have been an angel also. I'm pretty sure if he wasn't just angelic host in a fleshly form, that he was being used, because he also would, because I didn't want to judge these, and I asked him, I kind of looked around. We were outside eating outside. It was a beautiful view there. It really was a nice church, congregation. It's a nice structure actually. We are the church. Um, and I was eating my pancakes, and I said, "Hey, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I kind of get the same feeling." And I said, "Well, I just thought I was, you know, I just thought maybe it was just me." Well, this man is going to come into play. Him and his family were at the second hand store, which was right next to and below where they served at this shelter in Reading, where the pastor, the pastor that, because they had service, and that was one of the conditions. If you wanted to be there, you had to go to their service. You had to go, and I thought that was kind of weird, odd also. You shouldn't have, just like you shouldn't have to believe everything. You shouldn't have to like everything I say, and vice versa. I might like you, you might not like nothing about, and that's just the way it is. And I'm going to tell people, I like this. I don't care. That's fine. That's how that's supposed to work. So, but you shouldn't force somebody to go to your. Now, it's one thing to tell somebody, you know, uh, you know, something that you truly believe, because you love them, and you understand or truly come to realize or believe that, the information you have would cause them some, would spare them, some great harm or death, eternal death, a life of either eternal suffering and mocking, because it ain't going to be a pain. I'm telling you that, right? That's a, or of eternal just bliss, and just, man, talk about, come on, ma, we're going to go check, see how many, you're just going to be on a big old ranch. You're going to be like, and you're going to have plenty of ranch hands, pardon me, people. So, uh, he agreed with me, and I thought, wow, okay, so I didn't feel completely alone in that assessment. And so one day we're down at we're still at the motel. The plants are almost ready. I had to go back a little, because this is important that I had to do this, because it's important that, before Wesley comes and gets me, and, "Hey, Roy," and I'm like, "Well, what's going on?" He's like, "I don't know. Jerry just wants me to." Now I'm worrying, because I hadn't been up there for a while, and I want to use this money to get the heck out of where I'm at. So now I'm panicking, and worrying, and not having much faith. And so Donnie had been, we let him. I didn't trust a lot of people. I didn't let anybody watch my children, but I'd let them, go to friends and stuff like that. I'd let Donnie spend the night. Matter of fact, he has a real interesting story about a little party he went to, and I asked him if I can share that another time. But yeah, um, so it was, I had a good feeling, so I let him roam and stuff like that. And Donnie would be, riding his bike around and stuff. And I had a bike too. I got a bike, and I'd, just like my Haro in Portland, I'd be just rolling. 'Cause whether I was driving or not, if I have a bike, I like to get it. I like to just ride. It don't matter. I'll probably do that till I can't. I don't, my knees are, but I do my squats every morning. I should be all right. So he's riding his bike, and I noticed one day he's pulling off his tire. He's still ain't mastered the bunny hop. She was so impressed. It made me feel good that Dad could do in Portland on the real high curbs, because of all the, snow and whatnot. And he would come home, and I'd help him fix it, and he'd see if I'm going to be mad at him. And I'm like, "No, go take it back to those Somalians, boy." He said, "Dad, those dang Somalians, they were after me again." I said, "That's right, son. You just ride your little butt off, and you just is going to teach you to ride fast." and they're eyeing it all day. They're eyeing it because it was a nice bike. I paid good money for it down in Portland. Now I just got almost completely off track, but not because I missed that part too. I forgot to tell you about that part. But I just love the bike. I'm just gonna be a kid. That's just me. I'm not gonna grow up, people. My body, you're gonna have to go listen, sir. You're gonna have to go, honey. Listen, you are getting kind of old. You know that, don't you? But but I kind of feel weird saying that because God, you sure don't act like it. So anyway, he's riding his bike. He's changing his tire. He popped it, doing bunny, trying to do get the bunny. And once in a while you waffle you pinch your tire in the on the sometimes you even taco your frame. God, I'm hungry, but not today. I'm gonna wrap this up, sweetheart. This is it. We're done because it's time. I told you an hour, and I mean it. I don't. If you guys don't do a movie, I'll understand, and I'll just. I'll probably won't even get. Well, let's see. I might get back on just to finish it up, but otherwise, So if you're not, don't worry about it. Don't be pressured because I went over. Because I know it's 3 hours difference, and I am trying to be considerate, and I really am aware of that, which lets you know I love you. I really am. Plus, we know that we have that I do need the Lord's like, well, no, don't get too yeah, don't go ahead and sharpen your own little knife there, little buddy, because that's the reason why you need to get with your other half so that you can be see these. That's why it's so important because you are just like in the song, just find out you're just fulfilled. Does not null and void the first half. So Tommy, the bike. That's right. He's changing his tire, and I'm like, "Wow, where did you get that?" And he's like, "Oh, I found this in the garbage." And I'm like, "Oh, good score, son." So he's learning from dad because I'd been up there with Blindy, going through the kind of like our Rainbow Foods here, grocery outlet. I call it Rainbow Foods because it's that. Going through the deal, getting candy bar, all kinds of stuff that's not even out of date that they got to rotate. Good stuff. Oh, good stuff. Oh yeah, I'm that one, man. I'll go through them, especially when they're in the box. I'm a clean freak. Believe me, if that garbage can wasn't clean and I didn't put stuff down, I wouldn't be doing it, sweetheart. Don't worry about that. I was bringing home boxes of organic chocolate bars, and I'd go to the. We'd go to. He goes, hey, there's another spot. The health food store had health pepperoni and stuff that was just about ready to go out, and sometimes it was only a day or two out. Come on now, how bad could that be? And in the wrapper, in the pack, don't you judge me. So, old Blindy, he knew where all that was, and Angel's like, oh yeah, and he could get it. He was blind. This guy was blind, man. People, he was blind as a bat. Could just see, and I've seen. I've had to almost stitch up his super glue and tape his shins together because he'd walk into manzanita and just bust his legs up. I'm like, no, stop. But he's just so happy. He just want to go there and help you wrench on something. He's such a good guy, man. The neatest dude. He's in that picture. He's in there. He's got his head turned. It's Blindy. It's Hippie Mike. It's Wesley, Connie. Angel's. I don't think Angel. No, Angel was in there too. Jerry was in there. Skylar, me, Donnie standing on his toes, trying to be. Now he's taller now. He was standing on his toes, trying to be taller than his daddy. He's so cute. Now he's just a big old damn lumberjacker, big old native needing himself a good. And someone's gonna take this wrong, so I'm not gonna say it. He's such a good kid. He doesn't fall. He's never whored around like that. He's only fell in love one time and he's tried so hard. Tanisha. That's why I'm so glad you guys been so considerate. You never showed that video again. It's not for me. I'm in love. I told you I'm not no perv like that. I'm in love with one person until I fall out. Yeah, and she's saying, well, that's not gonna happen, buddy. That's all I can bank on. We have a time frame, but yeah, I'm really happy you guys really did that. I feel like you did that because you were being considerate, and if I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong, and I'll take it. Because it's a nice thought either way. Whether it was, you know, still a nice thought. Not that he was, because he does his own little. Guy's been out of work. He's usually busy doing stuff. A job down in Houston or Denver or whatever. Dang man, I gotta roll with this. Okay, so he's down in the little thrift part of the thrift store down there at the shelter, and um, here we go with them mums. I'm also down there. We're going through. They got a lot of good stuff donating there and donated to him. And I don't know if we had to pay for it or if you could get a voucher from the pastor, but either way, there's a couple different rooms, and I didn't know Tommy was in there. That's the significant part I want to bring up. Oh, that's right. There was quite a few different rooms. There was a sorting room also in back, and there was that dumpster that Donnie found that tire. Um, so we're going through clothes, Tawana and I think I don't know if she says there. Anyway, it's not important. But obviously she had to have been around somewhere, maybe at a friend's if Donnie was there, because then that means that he would have been in school also, or maybe it was summertime. That had to have been what it was. We are going through clothes, going through the clothes rack. I mean, they're washed. They wash. I mean, most of them are all people in Reading. They they were all these clothes were nice shape. And if they weren't, they would wash them. So we're going through them, and I hear the pastors going off on my son and my and then Tawana, my ex, is in there, and I'm hearing her now getting. I don't hear him going. I just hear him getting loud. I don't hear Donnie because Donnie's just saying nothing because he's just like a deer in the headlights. He's scared and he gets intimidated real easy. God, I gotta hurry it up. Darn it. Um, So he's like a deer in the headlights. So I go out there and I'm saying, hey, what's going on here? Right. And I'm having to, because that's not going to happen. So I'm like, hey, what's going on here? And he's like, well, your son stole this other, and then there's a mom flipping out. Yeah, this is my, I seen him yesterday and blah, 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 and this and that. And he's like, no, I didn't. It was in the garbage and it was in the trash. And I said, "What's going on?" And so all I did was I just said, "Okay, Donnie, it was that." And I remember yesterday he had been changing that tire, and he said, "Oh, it was in there." And I said, "Donnie, you go back and you get that because I think he kept the rim off the bike." Which I come to find out later was in the trash, and but he was accused of stealing it off the tire, and it wasn't in the trash. That was the thing. So I just said, Donnie, and I got real short with him. And I said, you go right now because now I still don't know Tommy's around. I still don't know. And most people are there, a couple people are trying to paying attention because it's kind of, got a little heated, but then started to calm down a little bit. Most everybody, and then people that are at people that are at the shelter, they're wanting to, kind of, back up the pastor, the guys that are there, and the losers that live there and aren't out in the heat and just and so that's not going to deter me from getting to what's going on, but that could also trip me up too because sometimes I used to overreact, and that never solves anything either, right? So I said, Donnie, you go right now back to because the motel wasn't very far from the shelter. It was you know probably, I don't know, half a mile, maybe a three quarters of a mile. And so he says, "All right, Dad." And I don't even think he said, "All right, Dad." And I know I felt so bad, but he said, "Well, I had already called the police." Well, they called the police, all right, because uh, I said, "The police." I said, "You called the yeah, well, yeah, he's a thief. He needs to." And the police are coming, and we're gonna when he gets in. And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Now my heart's going. Now I'm starting to get pissed. I really am. Now I'm getting angry. I'm starting to get angry because I don't do police. Because I had been brainwashed when I see of someone in a suit, a deal, I get something happens. Seriously. Especially if I see them doing something on the side of the road. I've been known to, and they're like, "Oh God, please no, Donnie." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't care. I'll knock their block smooth." I mean, if I see someone getting mistreated, you think I'm kidding? It's gotten real bad, and I don't even have to know. It just if there's no call for any of it. I don't, and it's over. It's over. It's over. Oh, it would be. It's just. It's over. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But they would literally have to shoot me because I'd knock their block smooth off. I would knock their block or try. I would try. They would or have to. They'd knock my block off. If I seen them pulling some lady out like I have before, and it got to pulling some lady out of there, it'd be over. It'd be over. They'd have to kill me. Now that was then. This is now. It's a little. I'm a little different. I've caught, but so that's. I'm just letting you know. That's how, and that was by design. And now that I know that, so that's what diffused that whole situation. It was a satanic brainwashing. Even though a lot of them are pukes, I got family members that are, a lot of good ones. Also, they're just brainwashed, and they're counting. They're snapping out of it. Um, But so uh here they are. They're looking. Oh, they're looking for him. And I'm watching my son. I'm watching him on this bike. And the pastor's going, he's waving him, trying to wave him down. And I'm literally watching this whole thing play out in slow motion. In slow motion. And I'm like, I just really it's an hour. I gotta go. I'm gonna have to go right now because that's just how I gotta do it. And I'll get back on how the good Lord cloaks innocent people, and how uh, how our heavenly Creator is not only a loving Father, but He's very just and precise, and sometimes that love can will be displayed and received with a good solid whacking. So I love you. Amen. Praise the good Lord. Thank you, Tori. If, like I said, if you guys don't roll that tonight, I understand. Don't sweat the small stuff. I love you guys. Everything's good. And Millie, don't stop doing that to yourself. Just. I know I'm being patient, but we got a time frame and we got to get rolling. So I can just I'm going to sleep good. I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway. Don't worry. That's good. You're not going to trip me up from doing that. Don't think that either. Just continue to do with whatever I think you have planned. Just let me know. Just let me know. You got to just let me know. Me know. You let me know. You don't have to get into some long. We'll sit down and we'll work it out. Just let me know. I love you. Bye.